trying to think, when did my portfolio go up? Yeah, not even a week of all that being up. I was able to get a big project. That's better, you can see me now. I promise you it's the morning. So yeah, good morning. It's been a few days since Art on Vine. Blah, 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 blah. That was on Sunday. So I've recovered from that on Monday. I had the day off because it was my husband's birthday. And then yesterday I had a cat commission that needed to be done as soon as possible, and a bunch of emails I needed to send because I got commissions at the event, as well as other commission stuff from, you know, just getting my basic portfolio out there. I've accepted one of them, and that's going to be a very exciting project. I can't talk about it because I signed an NDA on it, but no, it's very, very exciting, and I'm happy that, you know, just after a week, if that. I'm trying to think, when did my portfolio go up? Yeah, not even a week of all that being up. I was able to get a big project like this, so that's exciting. So yeah, there was just a lot of communicating and emailing yesterday, as well as getting this cat commission completed. So I haven't had a chance to tidy up, so you can sort of see my desk is an absolute state. And there's also just other bits and bobs around the room that you can't see. So I'm going to be spending this morning clearing up, and then emailing some more people about some projects, and getting 2 more cat commissions done, because 3 out of the 4 people who commissioned me on the event on Sunday has got back in touch with me. And also, I completely forgot, at least I think I forgot, I'm pretty sure I didn't mention it in my last video. I actually have another market. Oh, excuse me. I actually have another market this Saturday. I don't know how I forgot, I just did. So that's at a completely different market that I'm basically just putting my fingertips out there to see what's successful for me, in terms of what markets work for my stuff. It's at another brewery that similar to Art on Vine. Art on Vine, gee, I'll get it one of these days. Yeah, so it's at another brewery downtown, so I'll definitely gather footage from that, which also means for this video I was originally going to talk about how Art on Vine went on Sunday, but I think I'm going to leave it to the next video so I can cover both markets in one video, and that'll be just a great overall video to do. So yeah, let's do some clearing up. Hi gang, now we're getting to the part of the video that I'm sure most of you are here for, and that is finding out how I got an illustration client in just under a week of posting my illustration portfolio. So in this section, when I'm giving you tips on what to consider for your own, you're going to be seeing me here drawing a little clown character I have called Poppy. Now, Poppy is based on this really cute clown ceramic I have. It's just, oh, I love her. When I saw her, I got her last year, yeah. I was like, I have to have her. She's pink and blue and has little stars and hearts and moons on it. It's so cute.
So yeah, I'm drawing her here mainly because I also want to show off these really cool watercolor brushes that I got from the Clip Studio asset library. Because the brief that I'm working on, the client has asked for me to create them to look like watercolor paintings. And obviously I'm not a watercolor painter at all. I'm really bad at traditional stuff, and it's something that I definitely do need to work on, and I'm sure there's definitely like content there for other videos for me to experiment with traditional media. But yeah, these brushes are absolutely amazing. They look so legit, and it's just making me love watercolor even more. So do enjoy that. So the first section I'm going to cover when it comes to having an online illustration portfolio is where to host it. If you're serious about building an illustration career, you need a place to host your work, and not just any social media accounts you have. I would recommend hosting it on somewhere like Squarespace or Wings Club, on Wix, as you can build a site for free with lots of different templates to use. It's worth noting, if you use the free version, you don't get to choose a domain name. It'll be like your name, like at wix.com or something like that. But honestly, if you want it to look more professional and you have the funds, it's absolutely worth buying a domain name. So it can be like more like www.yournameart.com, or like mine where it's kirstys.com. It's absolutely worth it, but I wouldn't say it is necessary. And this being said though, another option for you is to actually use your online store. So as I said, just like me, when you visit my store, you will see portfolio in the top navigation. I find this works as my store is an extension, of me and my portfolio in general, as everything I sell is designed by me. So anyone looking at my work with the prospect of like working with me can gain even further information about how I work, how I draw things, and just like my products. Before we jump into the real nitty gritty part of building a portfolio, I quickly want to cover an about section. So here it's good just to talk a little bit about yourself and why you are passionate about your craft. And for example, in mine, I discuss my history and how I've been an avid drawer since a very young age, and how that has pathed my future basically as not just an illustrator, but as a designer overall, as I discuss both my education and design and illustration career so far. Make sure to cover where you are in your journey right now as well. So for me, my current story is about how I've moved from the UK to the US and want to expand my illustration portfolio and clients. For imagery, I would include any logos of clients that you have done, if it's allowed. Usually clients are fine with you using their logo as their reference. It's more of actually showing the work where it gets a bit more muddy. But yeah, include any logos that you have. With me, I've used only my illustration clients, so I have more professional clients overall throughout my design career, but because this is my illustration portfolio, I'm only showing logos of clients that I've done illustration work for. The other imagery to consider is a photo of yourself. Now, I decided to use a photo of me other than an illustration because this humanizes me further, as the rest of my website shows my illustration skills. So I like to use a real actual photo of me just to show that, hey, I'm a real person, and I made sure that the photo I did choose represents me and my work. So that's stuff to consider when you want to reflect yourself in that place. Overall though, keep the sections short, sweet, but informative. Okay, real deal stuff now. So, how many pieces should be in your portfolio? When it comes to portfolios and design and illustration, it's important to view your portfolio pieces as case studies that then contain multiple illustrations within them. So the reason why I want to do this, the two important reasons to do this actually, is one, it allows you to talk in depth about the project, covering the goal of the project and how your skills were used in achieving that client's goal. And number 2 is efficiency for your potential clients. You see, most clients already have some sort of idea of what they're looking for in an illustrator, so setting your portfolio up with case studies allows them to quickly overview all the work that you've done, or the work that you've decided to show, and quickly scan what is actually relevant for their upcoming project. Time is money, and a lot of projects are ready to go now, basically. Especially when it comes to like the artist stuff and hiring artists. Anything like, for example, like scripts and all that is already like written, so they're ready to go to get this stuff like ready to show at people at the board, or to get pictures and that ready. So basically, clients don't have time to go through every individual drawing you've ever done to decide whether you're the correct fit for the project that they're looking for, which is why I would personally advise going for the case study approach, where you can actually show different sectors and different projects that you've done, which then within has multiple illustrations for the client to judge you on. In terms of how many case studies you should have, I'd say about 4 to 8 is more than enough, but this greatly does depend on like how in-depth each one is. So for example, if you do go for 4, make sure these projects have a lot of information and imagery covering the projects from start to finish. But on average, if you do hit that sort of like, especially like 6 to 8 case study mark, as long as you have at least as long as you have about 3 illustrations that you've worked on for the project, and some brief information about what it was for and why you were hired, that should be more than efficient enough for the client to get an idea of how you work and the work that you produced. We'll now discuss what actually should be in your portfolio. So one of the best pieces of advice I've ever received, and I'm pretty sure all of you have probably heard it yourself, and that is, make the work you want to make. So for example, if you want to make illustrations aimed at a certain audience, let's say in this case children, make sure your portfolio shows this. So in my case, for example, this is exactly what I did, and is the reason why when you go on my portfolio, you'll see that my 2 children book illustration projects are at the top of the page, because not only was this a professional client project, but also it's the type of project and audience I am interested in continuing making work for. And that is exactly what the project that I'm working on at the time of recording is for. It's for that same audience, because I make sure to push that side of my professional work forward. I would say this, like, the only time this rule should be broken is if a project you're interested in applying for is when the client specifically asks to see any professional illustration work. And honestly, if anyone is asking that, that's mainly because they just want to see that you can follow a brief, because being able to follow a brief is a skill in itself. But also, this being said, 9 out of 10, a client is very much looking for an artist that is the right fit, whether they have the correct professional experience or not. This being said though, obviously any professional work you do have is a big key to building up a fast client base, and will help you bag bigger names and likely much longer projects. So if you have work that is both what you want to be working on and sorry let me start that again. So if you have work that is both that and a type of project that you would love to work on again, absolutely include it in your portfolio, and preferably towards the beginning. But I'll go over like how to order the projects later, because I'm sure some of you have a much pressing question, and that is, but Kirsty, I don't have any professional work, so what should I do? Well, fear not, you got this, and I have some ideas for you. We're going to go back into what I said at the beginning of this section, and that is, make the work that you want to make. For example, if you want to get character design briefs, design characters. Think about the kind of projects that you want to make characters for. A great self-project maker tip that I actually learned is honestly simply name out of a hat. This way you guaranteed to have themes you want to draw, but not so much in a way that you would usually intend, or just stop something like smooth brain action happening. Because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes like I'll just sit there and just be like, I can't think of anything. I'm I promise you I'm an artist, but I have nothing. So I'm going to give an example of this exercise right now. So I've actually like cut out some stuff already in advance, and we're going to go with 3 like themes and 4 things that represent those themes. So that being mood, animals, and the occupation. So for example, for the moods, I've written down bashful, loner, stubborn, and cute. And I'm just gonna like just plonk these in this little cup I have here, la 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 la, and like just give that a little mix abouty. And I'm just gonna pull one out. So let's see what we got. I got bashful. Oh my, they're shy. So we got that. Gonna empty that out, and then I'm gonna go to the animals. So I wrote down duck, elephant, beetle, and cat. And again, just gonna chuck that in the little cup I have here. Give a little spin, not looking. No cheating, because that's the point of this exercise. You know, you want to make stuff that you enjoy making, but maybe in an order you never thought of them. So for example, this character is a bashful, oh, beetle. A bashful beetle. That's so cute. And last but not least, we're going to go with occupation. So this is important for the character because this would help us decide, you know, how this character looks, what they're wearing, you know, are there little details on them that suggest that they are this thing. So mixing that up. Oh, actually, I didn't tell you what I had. So let me get those bad boys back out. I got artist, teacher, builder, and baker. Right, now they can go back into the cup. Give a mix, la 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 la. And we have a bashful builder, beetle, baker. That's adorable. So going back to that whole character design brief, here you actually have a character you can then make designs for, you know, do those character charts and show different ways how you can show this beetle that's like bashful and also a baker. You know, you can look into all the different types of beetles. What kind of baker are they? What about them is bashful? How can you show that in that character? Again, the point of this exercise is to make sure you are creating work you want to be part of, but you're still challenging yourself by setting a brief you didn't quite expect. And this exercise, it honestly works for a large range of art portfolio projects, not just character stuff. And it's absolutely a video I actually want to cover one day, like Mr. Bashful Beetle Baker. Maybe they'll make a comeback one day, who knows. Also, I would like to say you don't have to do it how I've done it, where I've like cut out the little stuff out and put it into a cup. I just wanted to get a bit more hands-on. You can use something like wheelsofnames.com, which is really great for like doing just like random generated stuff, and there's also much less of a mess. Clean up. But yeah, with this kind of tip in mind, you can easily build a portfolio of case studies filled with finished illustrations, and you'll be able to discuss the projects and in terms of like how you approach them, and how you came to the decisions that you did for each like project and character or whatever. Remember to also use mediums that you want to use. So for example, if you want to be a watercolor illustration, if you want to be a watercolor illustrator and you want to be involved in watercolor illustration briefs, only show that medium. Don't throw yourself into work you're not going to enjoy and potentially not even fully deliver on for your clients, because that's just stressful and a mess for you and any future clients you might have. Now, with some projects completed under your belt, it's time to approach what order to put everything in. Now, trust me on this one. Think of it like a sandwich. I know. But listen, you have 2 solid bits of bread that hold everything together, and then a mixture of filler in between. As said, the bread needs to be solid, so open and end with projects that are the basis of you and your work. So for me, I open with my children's books projects, the top kind of work that I'm interested in and want to look for, and end with my best personal work, because this is how I can show the peak of my illustration skills when I don't have a tight deadline. Everything in between can be a bit more random, but personally I've found having about 2 of my strongest projects at the front and at the back works works the best, as that's what is the most lasting impression, and that's what you want to do. You want to leave a lasting impression. You want clients to go, oh wow, look at this person's stuff in the beginning and the end. Obviously you want your whole portfolio to be really good, but as I said, it's about those final moments, the things that they're going to remember. Bonus brownie points, by the way, if you could actually make your whole portfolio a natural story. So going through each project to tell the story of your career. This is quite where I've been having a kind of break from my illustration career and focus on my UI UX stuff. My story has come a bit more jagged, but before I got into UI UX 4 years ago, when I was in full illustration, this story was much easier to tell because I was able to show my development of my projects and how my skill had changed throughout the time and how my projects also evolved with it. And now this is probably the big one for you all, but also the hardest to answer, because honestly there isn't really a right answer, and that's about how do you find clients. And honestly, the best answer / advice I can give you is you need to be persistent. A lot of my biggest clients throughout the years have been through personal messaging on any social or job boards I've come across whenever I've seen a job I'm interested in. There's a lot of radio silence in this industry, or well, just a lot of creative industries to be fair, and I mean, yeah, basically you're gonna have a lot of times where you've applied a lot and heard nothing, and this will really test your confidence at times. But honestly, just keep pushing, and most importantly, keep producing work. I cannot hammer in enough how important that latter part is. Your passion and drive is what people are going to notice and admire about you and your work, and that will shine in your portfolio, and even more so when you get to that interview stage where you get to talk about your work in person to that client. So social media is honestly a good shout. Facebook in particular, believe it or not, is really great for freelancing and finding art admiration groups where people who aren't artists themselves like to find other artists to follow. So I think Facebook is definitely worth trying out there. But also Facebook is great for family and friends, as they are such a big key to pushing your work out there in the early stages of your career. Like, you don't know who your cousins know, you know. So yeah, absolutely do that. When it comes to more social media, LinkedIn is an also great way to connect with other creatives and a great way to post your work, to see who is hiring, especially for more longer term projects. So something that's like more than 3 months long, or you know, places that might even be hiring full time for illustration roles. They exist, you know. I've also had luck freelancing on sites such as Upwork and People Per Hour, and I really want to like underline this but here, because it's a big one. You need to be hyper aware of not underselling yourself in these kind of websites. It's okay to do the odd job cheaper than usual, but like in the beginning, but don't make a habit of it. I'm serious. Remember, this is your career and living. Everyone should absolutely have access to experience art, but owning it is not the same. It's in the same way as many other goods and services are not free. Being an artist is a real profession, and it's really important for us artists to promote that narrative and to push it as well for everyone involved. Because, you know, there is that whole starving artist joke. We don't have to be starving artists, and making sure that we don't undersell ourselves is the biggest thing to basically cure that notion that people have about people who have an art career. This being said though, if you want to know how to offer cheaper services without underselling yourself, okay, like remember that, without underselling yourself and other artists, I discuss it in this video here. So please do check that out if you want to find ways to offer your art at a much lower price. Another great way, and I'm sure a lot of you heard this one, is finding an agent. Now that can be kind of tough because you have to sort of wait for agencies to have spots open, but this is where social media comes in again, as this is where they'll be advertising their spots. So funny enough, in the last week or so, I've found 2 agencies that have been looking for illustrators. Obviously every time you apply, you do get the email saying that it will take up to like almost up to like 4 weeks to almost 3 months to hear anything back, so fingers crossed on that one. But again, the main advice there is being that you will find them on social media, Instagram especially, for agencies, and LinkedIn has been really good as well for me. And my final advice is taking part in artist alleys and craft markets. These are really useful for growing audiences, but also grabbing those commission clients who might potentially become reoccurring customers. And also there's that whole prospect of you don't know who's going to these events. So someone who could be working at a big company who's aware of maybe their design team growing will be looking for an illustrator, and they see your work and boom, like you've already made an acquaintance, which is such a big step to getting through to the interview stage and, you know, actually like nailing the job. And so with that, I think I've covered everything that's important. Do let me know if you'd like me to go even more in depth with my own portfolio in the comments, because I'll be happy to go through that in depth, in the sense of like actually going through my thinking in terms of why I put X project there and what I put to discuss the points that in those projects, all that sort of stuff, you know. So if you want me to go more in depth, do let me know again in the comments, and I'll like schedule that in for a video to be made. But yeah, I said other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm really sorry that this video is a little late and not on the weekly basis they have been. It's been a real mixture of, I got some nasty ass flu just after the second marketplace, which well, as you saw, that's a drama in itself, which is absolutely going to be covered in either the next video or the video after. Yeah, I was so ill, guys. Like, you know, like your muscles were aching. I literally just couldn't get out of bed. And then along with that, there was Thanksgiving, so we did some traveling down to North Carolina to visit some family and spend time with them. And then I was just playing catch up with both this project and a couple other commissions that needed to be done. So yeah. I hope the advice was useful, and I also hope you enjoyed the little illustration going on. You may have noticed there was a little bit of jump of like, is it me or does Poppy look more detailed? She did, because for some reason my iPad stopped recording. I thankfully didn't get too far in. It was these little stripes that ended up being just like, it didn't record me doing any of that, so thankfully it was nothing too major, but I was still just like, are you kidding me? Oh well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Please do leave a comment and a like if you really enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. And oh my god, today, as recording this final bit, we have 50 subscribers. Thank you so much. It means so much to me, and I'm really enjoying doing this YouTube stuff, as I've said before, and yeah, I'm looking forward to producing more stuff. I guess the thing I should end on is, you'll see here, this is the final illustration of Poppy's. So I don't know if I've ever said before, but I take a lot of my illustrations from my iPad then to Photoshop on my main computer, where I just do a little bit of tweaking, because my main monitor is much more color accurate than my iPad, I believe. I could be, or it could be the other way around. Who knows? Either way, I like doing the editing on Photoshop, where I can sort of just like swap the colors and, you know, really make it pop a bit more. So yes, this is the finished illustration. Again, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any advice for artists that you want to throw in it, even for myself, please write it in the comments, because yeah, you just never know, like I might have missed something important. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna say I hope you enjoyed the video for the millionth time. I will just see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.